Sulwen, can you tell me a little bit about when you first started violin?
Yeah, so I had wanted to play violin for, I don't know, I was 4 at the time, and I had wanted to play violin, and I would go to the symphony maybe every month or something, and I would see the violinist, and I'd be like, Mom, I want to play violin, and she'd be like, maybe piano so I can help you so I know. But finally, she gave in, and I think I was 4, and we got my first violin, and I was over the moon. I mean, I think I spent a lot of time, like, there's a video of me going through the car wash playing my violin when I had it was when I first got it. My mom is like saying, like, Sulwen playing her violin for the first time.
I see that you had a strong sort of inspiration in the beginning. The inspiration being, going to the symphony and just seeing other players. And what kept you kind of going, when you were taking lessons?
I was motivated by my parents and my family, because I would always have an audience to play in front of, and it gave me help to have an audience that would clap the heck out of it, even if I didn't know how bad I sounded or how scratchy it was at first. So it really helped to have, a family. I was definitely motivated by them, and I was motivated by the camps in the summer. There was always that little bit. And then my first teacher inspired me to just write songs. So I would just write different songs, and I've been motivated by writing songs and doing things ever since with that. So I was motivated by my family and camps and writing music.
Tell me a little bit about sort of when you began to get sense that you were either getting better or that you began to be kind of your perceptions of your own sound and your own proficiency.
I'm gonna say that I was about 7 I was 8. I think I was 7, almost 8, when I went to a classical music camp, and that was like a head explosion thing. I was like, oh. But the thing is, I may have not had the technique, but I had the sound. I had figured out my own ways. I have this very clear memory of my instructor during lunchtime walking me in to the room full of what then to me seemed like older kids. There was like the 3 groups, there was like the little guys, which was me, and then there was like the middle range, and then there was probably like the 13 and high schooler up age. And I remember walking into the room, and I could sight read anything. Like, I was pretty good at sight reading. And so we started playing Vivaldi. And I was playing with all these other teens, and I was just this like very little kid. And I remember being like, I don't actually sound that bad in front of them. And then at the very end of the concert, since I liked I liked playing so much, and I was, I loved playing so much, I led the whole camp from age 5 to 18 in a song. And that was on stage in this big stage. And that kind of gave me the, motivation, because I kept going, and just even if I didn't sound that good, I was aware that I sounded, and I could make notes happen, and if it didn't work out, I could play it again. And yeah.
So it seems to me what you were lacking was a kind of the critical voice, or that perfectionism that kind of sometimes can get in the way, where you were happy that for it to be good enough.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound good, I can't do that. But I've started teaching a couple people. I've taught one person, and then I taught one person that just once. And then I realized what it was like for other people to start, and I can help them because it's an adult, so I can help the perfectionist person see that if you're playing, it's you're playing. There are these different things that you can help that you don't have to be good at, but you can lift your bow a little softer, or you can play that note, or you can put that note down, and so or put your fingers down to make the notes. And so the simpleness of how you can actually sound better by doing different things, and I can apply that to my own playing now, because I'm like, oh, I'm sounding scratchy. What did I say when that person was sounding scratchy or something, and they asked me what to do? So I don't know.
So one of the things that I know is an important element for young people in particular, but I think that it just starts becoming much more important, and it carries on, is what is going on with your peer group, and how, tell me a little bit about sort of how important or how not important that was for you, and has it changed, and what it's, what it was like early and now versus now?
When I was little, my mom was my motivation. If I didn't want to play, my mom was there right next to me being like, let's do this. You have to practice. If you want the lessons, we're going to have to practice. But also just being there. And so I enjoyed being with other people playing, but when I was little, it didn't matter as much. Now there's a fiddle group where I live, since I live in California, and it's awesome to play with all of them, even through the pandemic. Just playing with other people and jamming or writing tunes, because we went to this weekend that they had, and just writing tunes with different people and coming up with chords, and then knowing other people who want to perform and aren't afraid of performing and like writing and making music. When I was little, I didn't know a lot of those people, and now I do, and it's really awesome to have that community of people who are like, yeah, you want to do that? Let's go through it. Let's do this or that.
So when you refer to the people that you get together with now, and they're not anywhere close to your house, because I know you guys drive a whack, do you feel like that you, even though that they're not close to you, that, geographically, that these are part of your community?
Definitely, because we live in Sebastopol part-time. Before all of this happened, we were living in Sebastopol like 2 days a week. But I was also, there was a certain friend's house where kind of all the jams would happen that I stayed with, because they were like my brother and sister, and like just because once you have that community, it really doesn't matter how far you live or something. They would, if I needed to go to the bus, they would drive me to the bus to get home, or I would walk to their house from the bus, because there's a bus that goes up and down the coast. And so even though I was far, it doesn't seem far. It's like an hour to me. It doesn't seem that far, because there's no I won't say there's no community, but there's no music community where we are up there that's like with young people and stuff. We live on 7 acres. There's not a lot of different things.
So I'm really interested in sort of how in the community element of music, of course, that's a big part of kind of what I feel is so integral to kind of whether it works or not. What you're describing is you've got these people. It sounds like it's more than just people that you play music with. It sounds like you could kind of like the fact that they'll drive you to the bus station, or that these are people that you kind of you can count on now.
Yeah, definitely. One night I missed the bus, and it was the day after Christmas, and they, my friend's mom, who was it's like the center, she came, and almost the minute she heard that I was kind of stranded at the bus stop, I had other friends that picked me up, but she came and she looked at the bus stop and tried to find me, and this was like at night, and then they just let me stay. And then when I had to get up really early in the morning when my parents were picking me up, they didn't mind getting up early, and so they've always been there for me, and they're always really nice.
Is fiddle going to be part of your life when you say are 20?
Yes, definitely. I can see becoming a musician along with other things. Music, I'm definitely never going to be like, well, I never say never, but I definitely will probably not be a symphony player, but I will definitely want to play, gigs and different things. And as I get older, I think fiddle will definitely always be with me, because it's just a case. I can always carry it around with me. Or there's always places I can find a fiddle, or, just music. Music in general is always around me with everything.
If you had to tell somebody, like, they're thinking about, well, maybe I'll start my kids on the violin or the piano or something, what do you say, well, these are the kind of the cool things that you get out of doing music?
You can get community out of music. You can get, there's a lot of bonding moments. It's amazing what you can do to strum a couple chords and have somebody play along, or play a couple chords and play a song. It's a magical experience to have music go together and play music together. And with your family or your friends or community, even though my mom doesn't play an instrument, my family doesn't really play that many instruments. They've always like been there, and you know, it's always kind of at family gatherings. I'm always playing. There's always music. Just once you bring music into your life, it's always around you.